Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast, episode 586. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy,
What's up?
Corey Feinside,
Ahoy.
and Tony Krikanakis.
Yo.
Welcome,
I'm
listeners
getting confused.
and viewers on Twitch. If you're watching this on Twitch, Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock. We usually start with the movie cast, but I had a special request to please start with Gamecast. I've been stuck at home all day. And, I have done a little bit of work, obviously. I have to get some work done. But access to Elden Ring. I had to say, progress-wise, I don't know if I've made much. I have a lot of questions. And I have a lot of comments about this game. It's so fresh because I just shut it off to come over here for the podcast. But I'm like, I just want to get right into this while I'm thinking about it. So what we've been up to, guys, I've been playing Elden Ring, and I didn't get to play it really a lot this weekend, but I did get to play it a lot the last 2 days. I'm level 25, which I don't know if that's good. Is that a lot? No.
I mean, depends.
What level are you?
I'm 99, but I'm
Okay.
like 50 hours into the game, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a few hours into the game, obviously, multiple hours now, but I have not felled a boss yet. Trying to, but I figured I'd level up.
Like you're talking about a boss or like dungeon mini boss things?
No, I haven't even done no dungeons yet. I'm just trying to do boss in the field. Yeah, I'm leveling up.
Okay.
I'm exploring. I've gone all around, and I keep getting so fucking frustrated with this game. That I stop playing it for like an hour or two, and then I come back to it, and I'm like, okay, let's fucking do this. And in fact, before this podcast started, I said, you know what? I'm level 25. I have 19 decks. I went and maxed my decks up like right away, and then I'm doing vigor and endurance now. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna face the Tree Sentinel. I'm gonna down the Tree Sentinel before this podcast so that I can say like I fucking beat a boss at least, and that at least a world boss at least, and feel good about myself. And no, I haven't beaten him yet. I have gotten him down to a quarter of health, and that was my first attempt. I got him down to a quarter health where I was like, oh, I can do this, and then I never have gotten closer since. I don't know what so I'm okay. Like I really do enjoy this game actually, a lot. I have so many things that I wish would be in this game to make it it's not a 10. This is not a perfect game. I think the Metacritic score is way too high for what this game is. But I do enjoy this game. There's a draw to it that makes you want to keep going. Even when you lose to a freaking mob that you've destroyed. Like I'm farming. Like I'm in there farming on this. I found this world that I had to look up stuff. You have to in this game. So I found this little side world thing that you get like 1,000 runes per kill of these little mobs. So I was like, awesome. So I'm in there just like killing them, and then they just start killing me, and it's just like a bad run of like just killing me, and I'm like, and you lose your runes, and you're just like,
you got baited and tilted.
My issues are, is there a armor comparison chart when you're shopping? Like, how do I know this is better than what I'm wearing? I can't tell you where the stats are, and I can't see my character's stats. Like, that's just basic stuff. I'm like, where is this? No, it's not there.
Fun.
No, that's not part of the fun. That's quality of life stuff that should be easily in these games.
Yeah.
And then I felt like in the game that includes this many deaths, I feel like the reload times, while they're pretty fast on my Series X, they could be better. Like, they could be faster for a game that you die so much. It really makes you die, and you're like, fuck. And then you get to sit there and stare at the fucking screen for a little while and get angrier, and then you come back and and you're
How
fine.
long is it load on the Series X?
I mean, it's not like crucial, but like usually your death is like you take the death blow, and your character kind of stumbles around and falls, and you're like, I'm dead, I can't fucking move, and then it's just like you get to see the enemy kill you more while you do this, and then the load screen's probably 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds, whatever. But I feel like, was it Limbo that was like you die so many times, but it was like instantly you're back? Like I just feel like that should be the way it works in this game.
It's a 2D game.
Yeah, but on a
It's
Series
little
X,
different.
I just feel like it should be on like in the next gen systems, it should be like almost instantaneous. It should be like boom, you're back. So yeah, I also don't like if I use arrows, and I die, I reload. The game reloads. All the enemies are back, and my arrows aren't back. Why?
Because you use them.
No, that's bullshit. I reloaded the save. I should have those arrows back again.
No, you can't save scum this game, Jim.
So, I had some issues with that, and yeah. But I on the positives, like the game looks fantastic. I love the look of the game. I love the enemies. The bosses look fucking incredible. Like there's this big winged guy that I want no part of. He just sits with a sword in front of him, and I'm like, I don't want any part of this guy. I'm farming in that area to kill his mobs to get me my 1,000 runes, and my ghost wolves, which I love, by the way, my ghost wolves, because they are massive distractors. Like, since I got those guys, death rates have gone down massively. Because I'm like, just
death rates have
they are
gone
just
down, boys.
They are those are the fodders.
Yes.
And I'm like, if I screw up and I take a hit, I'm like, oh shit, I can step back because the wolves take some. They like just get in there, and I'm like, good. I can heal myself. Or I can run away. They accidentally pulled that boss once, and I'm like, fuck. But you know, it's still cool. The wolves and I we're good. But I am enjoying the game. I am going to beat that Tree Sentinel. I promise you. I just got the knight armor. I don't know if armor's good. I don't know what's good. I don't know what's bad. I'm in this like random world on the one left side, bottom left corner of the screen that I bought knight armor instead of leveling up my character because I'm like, maybe I do need to put some stuff in armor because I'm getting like one hit dead, like one fuck up and you're done. Even with mobs in the area that I'm at, like I fuck up once and those mobs just that's it. So.
Are you sure you're supposed to be there?
No, maybe I'm not, but I'm beating them. I'm getting 1,094 per kill, 1,094 runes. Plus, some of them give me like 1,500 because they have like these. They're like these special edition versions of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I saw it on the internet. I'm like, somebody suggested just go there and it gives you a lot of levels quick. Which yes, it would. Except my skill based, I'm not skilled enough to play there. So I'm learning the ropes in an area that I'm probably not good enough to be in, but I'm learning it, and I'm doing well. I just got 10,000 runes. In which case, by the way, I promptly died accidentally after that, and had to deal with the ride through it to get those. That was stressful, but that's when I decided to go buy armor because I'm like, if I die for 10,000 runes, I'm like, I must just buy armor and spend it on that. So, but loving the game so far. The universe, the world, the stories. I don't know it yet. Tony, what are you playing on? Like, I mean, you're playing this game, so it's like, how are you doing on this?
Yeah, I'm probably in the last quarter of the game. I don't know. It's hard to gauge because like they're like, oh, go kill these X amount of demigod people, and it's like, all right, well, I've killed X or Y out of X or whatever it is. And it's like, well, actually, now we need you to go do this thing. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. A little bit more game. But I could definitely see... oh, man. I don't know if I should say this to you, Jim, but the latter half of the game, the bosses, there's one boss that made me, like, fume. Like, absolutely, positively... like grip my controller real hard because I was just like, this is bullshit, like absolute fucking bullshit. And I played through Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and Sekiro, platinum 2 out of the 3 of those, and I'm just like, this boss is fucked up, like beyond fucked up what they ask you to do and what the boss does. I was like, no. I actually had to leave and go do an entire other legacy dungeon before I came back, and I was like, all right. I was like 10 levels higher. So I could see how the reviewers might have changed and lowered it a little bit because like the back half of the game is just filled with these awful, awful, awful bosses that are just like, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just going to watch you do this combo and I'm just going to sit here until I can poke you like 3 times and then I have to run out and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I don't know. I think maybe From has gotten a little too ahead of themselves in terms of like, we have to have difficult bosses. So, we need to keep making harder and harder bosses for our fan base, otherwise they're going to be like bored. I don't know. That's just my feeling though, based on playing 3 other games.
This is not an optional boss or anything.
No.
There's not enough
a mandatory story boss.
Yeah, there's not a lot of hand holding in this game though.
No.
I feel like there should be a little bit more hand holding. Like there should be something to tell me. Like where is the first dungeon? I have to look it up online. Is that Stormkeep? Is that the first dungeon?
Stormvale, yeah.
Stormvale? Yes. Okay, that's it. I promptly went in there and got shot with arrows and died. But you know, that was my first go at it.
Yeah.
But,
So I mean, there's a couple things you gotta remember. Like, I don't know if you did the tutorial in the beginning when you first start the game. I didn't. I just skipped it. So equipment does matter in this game, but it also matters to make sure that you're not encumbered. So when you're equipping armor and stuff like that, you can see in the lower right, it'll say like how much weight you're carrying around and stuff like that. And there's 3 status effects where it's lightweight, medium weight, and heavyweight. So depending on your endurance, you can hold more weight, and therefore you're less easily encumbered. Most people don't put that many points into endurance.
no, I have like 17 or 18 right now.
Right.
18?
So it's not going to be that much. But because of that, your cap is lower, and depending on the percentage of your max hold weight, like you're going to have either light, medium, or heavy. And that affects your dodge immensely. And by your dodge, I mean like the invincibility frames and distance that your dodge goes when you roll. Like, you know, the dodge and roll.
Yeah. But
so I would check that, because I have a feeling
so you're just buy useless armor.
I have a feeling you just bought all this knight armor and you're heavy weight now, because you said you went dexterity, which I did, and I completely forgot, because the last game I played was Sekiro. That didn't have it at all, because you didn't have armor in that. And I was like, wait a second, why am I rolling around like a fucking bowling, like, I don't know, dead weight? And I was like, oh, I forgot about the weight. And then I switched to medium armor and I was fine. So check that you're not heavy, because if you're heavy, you're just making the game way harder for yourself.
Okay.
Especially if you're not using
I
a
just
shield.
got it. I just acquired all that. I wasn't using a shield. I was going to upgrade my shield to the bigger shield there.
Are you
It was
using
way
shield?
better. Yeah. I'm using a
are?
little shield. It's the starter shield. Yeah.
No. Okay. So another thing the game doesn't point out, all right, when you highlight a shield, there's under the second column from the top, it says something about like damage reduction or something like that. And that is what percentage that shield is going to reduce any incoming block damage. So the starter shield, I think, for Dex class,
58.
yeah.
58.
So it's only blocking 58% of a damage. So if a move does 200,
Yeah,
you know,
trust me, I know this.
yeah. So I would recommend just getting a shield that has 100% damage reduction. That way, as long as you have the stamina, you fully block the attack and you don't take any damage.
I'm going to buy that then next.
Yeah,
Because
so-
that's there. I'll just go buy it. Yeah.
Right. So there's a lot of nuance to the game, and you're right. They don't really handhold for you at all. They're just kind of like,
Part of it is discovering that.
absolutely,
It's part of the
100%.
game.
Sure, but I mean, like, there should be a little bit. I shouldn't have to go on the internet to find a lot of that. It should be like discoverable in
You
the
don't
game.
have
Like,
to,
there's
Jim. It is discoverable in the game.
There are.
no. I mean,
They do give you guides if you like open up your inventory and hit like
I'm
left
finding
bumper.
like rune fragments and all that shit. I have no
I
idea.
feel
what
like
those
Jim,
are
you're
for.
complaining about something that, like, yeah, you can do that. There's no harm in doing that, but it gives the people that don't want that the opportunity to discover the stuff on their own and have adventures
Yeah.
for themselves.
Yeah.
So
Anyways.
you can absolutely go do that. I don't think it's a fault of the game. It's the
No, I mean,
design.
I'm gonna look up more strategies and stuff online. Like, I'm gonna look up some boss strategies, and I'll go do the first dungeon. I'm gonna go do that because I have a hard time right now fighting 2 mobs at the same time. I
What
need
weapon
to.
are you using?
I just got the twin blade, which I heard
Okay,
was
yes,
awesome.
the twin blade is
Yes,
amazing.
I just got that. Yes,
That's
I just
what
got that, and I realized I went back to those mobs I was farming, and I'm like, I just ripped through them, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, so it's a good blade. So that's what I'm going to use. But it's quick and it's great. I never use that strong attack ever. I never use the strong attack. It's always just the short jabs.
So
And
that's another thing you're gonna have to get used to is they introduced stagger in the game where the more damage they take in a short amount of time, the enemies will get stunned. It's a hidden gauge, so you can't tell, but it's
Yeah.
something that Sekiro kind of did with posture. But the light attacks don't really do that much stagger damage, so you want to get used to the timing differences between, hey, I can do a quick attack now, or I can do like a heavy attack. Because if you land a couple of heavy attacks in a short time frame, you're gonna stun them and open up to a critical hit, which does a lot of damage.
Got it. Yeah, I was able to do that with my short jabs on the little guys I'm fighting.
Yeah.
And
It's not gonna work
and
on big
so-
bosses.
Yeah, so that's when you have to. Okay, all right. Cool. Anything else, Tony? You've been playing, or is it just?
More Elden Ring. Like I said, in the last area of the game, each boss I fight, I'm just like, all right, what kind of bullshit are you gonna throw at me right now? And I beat a boss the other day. First attempt, I was like, oh, cool. I didn't have to like learn. I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna do as much damage as I can, try to see your moveset and stuff like that. And I wound up killing him. I was like, oh. And then I look him up anyway, and it's like, wow, I didn't get to see all his bullshit attacks. So, that's good, I guess. Question mark. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Mike, coming at us from a new location, it looks like. How you doing over there?
Yeah. No, it's my basement. It's getting there. We got some action
Got
figures.
your man cave. I see it. Starting to build a man cave. Got it.
Yep, it's starting.
Good. Yep.
So I've been playing more Horizon Forbidden West.
Nice. So
it's slow going in this game. I've probably put 20 hours in, and I'm just starting to get like blue level gear.
20 hours and you're just getting blue gear?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I've been pretty diligent. I want to be a little over leveled for the main story stuff because I don't know, because I'm not specializing in anything, just trying to do everything. I heard you could probably get away with doing everything because there'll be enough skill points to fill in all the skill trees, which are way more involved than they used to be in this game. So with that in mind, I am just doing everything I can as I go forward. It is funny though. Yeah, I'm about 20 hours in, and I pretty much just got to like a home base / get story-wise. I got presented with basically, you're gonna have to do this, this, and this, and this before the game is over. Like that just happened. I'm like, oh, okay. But no, I'm liking it. It does start slow. But yeah, the characters are so much better this time around, and the world, the discovery mode, it makes all of the hand-holding optional. Although it is good to choose a place and try to go there because you do get lost just wandering in circles all the time. I will say the one thing I hate about this game is they definitely took a step forward with this climbing stuff, but because they did, it's like an essential part of some of the more dungeony areas, and
they like, look how good we did with this. Now it's everywhere.
No, I was getting pissed fuck off because first of all, some of the I'm sure there's a lot of accessibility options, so I'm sure I could change some of this, but a lot of the layout and mapping of the buttons in this game is not great. For example, if you were climbing, if it's within reach, Aloy will go by herself if you just press forward, which is sometimes a little scary because sometimes you go where you don't want already, but whatever, that's fine. You can just go back. Then if you need to jump, you press the jump button, X, to jump a gap. But then to drop down, you press square, but if you press circle, you vault backwards. And it's just not intuitive. So there's 3 different buttons, and so I've jumped off things that I did not want to jump off several times while doing a climbing puzzle, and then I had to do the whole thing over again. And it's not hard, but it's just like, that's not fun. This is what I'm doing, and I'm just climbing the same shit over and over because the buttons were confusing to me because they're not intuitive. So I'm just like, I yelled at the TV, like, every game does not need to be fucking Uncharted while this was happening. So that like, if people will criticize this for being derivative of other open world games, I don't care about that stuff. That's the stuff I hate. I hate the climbing shit. That's not fun. And the first major, there's boss things with like machines in the wild, the open world, like that. You have millions of those. Those are fun. Although you run into things that you just cannot do early on, which is all right. We'll come back later. But the first major like interior like boss thing was a fight you not only you can't win, you can't damage, and what you have to do is avoid damage and hit an object. And I'm like, this is not fun either. This was the same area, by the way. And I'm just like, if I replay this game, I'm gonna not want to do this part at all. It was a tedious, stupid part. I don't understand. The Uncharted climbing thing, every game does not need it. I don't understand why everyone puts it in their game so much. I hate it. It's never fun. Assassin's Creed was before Uncharted and did it better. And for whatever reason, everyone just does the Uncharted, like, oh, follow the yellow brick road up the thing. But and if you go the wrong way, even though it looks right,
Sony
you'll
games?
die. No, I think it's everything that has climbing.
Is it?
So, have you fought human enemies yet?
Yeah. Most of the time, though, that
hours.
most of the time now they're grouped up with machines. They'll be riding machines, or they'll have them. So
I know that was
they're,
Jim's thing.
yeah, they're much smarter. In general, I think they have a lot more awareness of you, almost to the point where it's kind of annoying. It's hard to like be invisible again after you're given away, but you can. But no, on the plus side, it's fun. There's a lot to play, a lot to do, and the story. It's funny because you feel like, if you remember how the last game goes, like, oh, the big reveal happened already, right? They do find a way where there's a big reveal relatively early on, and you can kind of put the pieces together before it's revealed. There's a huge plot dump, and it's just like, oh, okay, so, all right, so there is a big reveal pretty early that sort of like, shifts things in a way that is interesting. Some people may think it's a little too. I heard people say too sci-fi, which I kind of find funny to begin with as a criticism. Like, this is about a post-apocalyptic world run by AI-controlled robot dinosaurs, like 1,000 years in the future. Like, it's sci-fi already, but they do some interesting things to sort of justify why we're here again. And we'll see. I fully expect to be playing this for another at least 2 weeks. It's a meaty game.
I'm sure you will. It's a big game. So, Corey, can you talk about what you went to? I have to go check on it. I have a 9-year-old that's sick. I can hear. I'll be right back, everybody.
Yeah, so
Corey,
I've been playing more Destiny. Obviously, The Witch Queen is the new expansion, and just I've been doing that for the most part. Just the campaign is very, very good. They did a really good job with this, and it's neat is they like have 2 modes to it. Also, they have normal mode, and then they have legendary mode. And so, like, if you're a veteran Destiny player, you can just jump into the legendary and have a pretty good challenge. And then if you want to have a little easier time, just get through the story, you can do the normal mode. So it's kind of like with Halo, you had the legendary difficulties and stuff. So it was cool they did that because they didn't actually They haven't done that before. They've had different difficulty levels for Nightfalls and Strikes and stuff like that. But for the story, I don't remember them doing something like this at least any time recently, or made it so profound at least, because you do get better rewards and stuff. But yeah, this is a fantastic campaign and highly recommend it. The raid just came out for it, and so I haven't watched anything for it, but one of my coworkers went through, did it, and said it was fantastic. So yeah, more Destiny.
Nice. Is it still? Oh, my transition thing. Sorry. There we go. My headphones had switched to like off mode, so I couldn't hear through them. Anyways, so that's cool. Destiny's on. I would love to go back to that world. The problem is like there's just so many games out there right now that's like.
Yep.
I mean, this game, Elden Ring by itself, is going to sink. Because of how many times I'm going to die in this game. I'm going to spend I don't know how many hours in this game before I don't know. We'll see. I want to beat this game because I want to like just say I beat a fucking Souls game and call it a day, and
should have just played Sifu to get a quicker hard game.
Yeah, I just
actually that coming off Sifu in Horizon pissed me off whenever there's melee, because I'm like, why can't I block a melee attack? Like you can't block, and it pisses me off in this game because I'm pressing the block parry button from Sifu, and I'm just pulling up a weapon wheel and getting hit.
Yeah, I got to keep an eye on the armor, super armor, whatever you call it. But all right, that's it with what we've been up to, guys. Let's get into some news. There's been some stuff going on in the world of video games. Not great news for Forspoken. Square Enix's RPG for PS5 and PC. It's going to not make it early this year. It's been delayed until late this year.
That is fine with me.
Yeah, as I just made the comment of too many games right now. That was supposed to be April?
Something like that, yeah. Pretty soon.
Yeah.
Before June.
A game that I really,
yeah.
It's a game that I really want to play. So later this year might land at the perfect time, with the exception of Breath of the Wild 2 coming out, which I fully expect, but we'll see. It could land at the perfect spot. You know what I mean? Because I don't expect a big RPG in fall. I'm trying to think of what I mean. Starfield, I guess.
Xenoblade, but
Xenoblade, and I don't think Starfield makes it this year, even though they say it will. So that's my own.
Yeah, we'll see.
So, yeah. So that's a good thing it got delayed for us, at least. Sorry for those who were waiting for it. Let's see. Elden Ring, as we spoke about earlier, is the biggest non-FIFA or Call of Duty launch since Red Dead. Wait, what was it? I'm sorry. Since Red Dead Redemption 2 on UK.
I would imagine it'd be 2.
Yeah.
Why are we getting all these UK specific statistics lately?
They release those numbers. They release those numbers easier than
so.
US stuff.
It's funny though, because it's a relatively small market.
It is a small market, but you could still use it to determine.
You can extrapolate,
right?
Sure.
You can extrapolate market trends. Like the UK launch sales of Call of Duty is when we first got wind that hey, Call of Duty is probably going to be down this year, because they even said they're like, hey, wait, it's
I remember
down.
that.
And
yep.
they're like, okay, well, let's see what happens with the American audience, because Americans love shooting and stuff like that, and it might not have had as big of a drop off, but it definitely declined, and Activision Blizzard even said so in their investor call. So definitely different market and smaller for sure, but
I mean,
still
I think it's more interesting is obviously you can about whatever stats or facts or numbers you want to make something look good. But like what's interesting here is it's a game that's generally more niche genre.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
The game that is getting more popularity now, but absolutely was not anywhere close to being a big selling style of game.
Right. Absolutely.
So that's what's more interesting. It's like the game that does not have mass broad appeal is getting mass broad attention and
absolutely
financial and critical acclaim.
I mean, Steam, the other point of information we had, I didn't post the link, but the Steam concurrent users and peak users, which are two other good indicators of how popular a game is doing, they're both shy of just 1 million, I think, which is like the biggest it's ever been for a From Software game. So
if I had another gripe, it would be like what I've seen on Twitter in terms of the responses from people who are fans of this game. They're just a bunch of trolls.
No, I hate that. Like, I'm literally turned off a little bit from playing the game at this point.
Yeah.
The
culture.
They show up everywhere. Like I try to watch any video on Horizon, and the comments are just like, "Oh, play Elden Ring instead. This game's trash." I'm like, "All right, calm down. Maybe I will, but shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
Why do you read comments? I don't understand.
They are literally everywhere.
Why do you read comments?
Because that's what you do. Why wouldn't I read comments?
You're not there to watch the video?
I mean, I follow people.
You do both.
I follow people that made comments.
Breaks are for.
They made comments that I have similarly on wants and needs for quality QOL stuff in Elden Ring, and the responses that they get is just turn the comments off at this point. I mean, it's just and I'm not asking for much. The armor comparison thing, I mean, seriously, that is...
no, for sure. I mean...
That's 20 years ago.
They have been using the same basic item interface for 20-something years now. That was one of my gripes. I was like, wait a second, you really were using the same basic thing? I was like, all right, whatever. If it's not broken, don't fix it, I guess. I don't know.
I'm sitting here taking a picture of my armor with my phone, and then I'm looking at that while I'm looking at the armor on the screen.
See, that to me doesn't bother me that much, Jim, because honestly, that takes a moment. The thing that bothers me is that there's absolutely no quest log at all, and it's
oh god, yeah. I know.
It's wait, I talked to this NPC, you told me to go. I'm taking screenshots on my computer because I'm not writing this down. I'm just taking screenshots of the conversation so I could just refer to it. But okay, you're gonna be here next and stuff like that. That's the thing that kills me because I got sequence broken. I didn't get the bell to ring the Ash Wolves right away, and my friend's like, "Oh, you just go here and get it." And I was like, "No, that NPC's not there." And then I look it up. It's like, "Oh, you missed the trigger, so now you have to go to this NPC and buy it from him." I was like, "How would I have known?"
Wow.
That? How would I have possibly known that?
Wow.
So, this is a pro according. So I hope all these people love super obscure old school point and click adventure games too.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Maybe.
I feel like that's why we don't have those anymore. I like them too, but I feel like this is kind of the same idea. It's like, oh, just figure it out, or look at a reference thing. I don't know. It's
I just
interesting.
th-
It's an
there
interesting
should,
cultural thing.
like, I get the comments of get good. Like, I get them, like, they're feeling proud of themselves that they've played through these Souls games. They love this genre. They love this genre, and I get their love of that genre. But I'm sorry, guys. There should be some fucking hand holding a little bit in these games. I'm sorry. Like,
I don't think that's the right
QOL.
word.
Sorry.
They're not gonna want to hear that. That's not the right word.
No, fuck that. No, I'll say what I want. Attack me if you guys want. I don't care.
Yeah,
It should be some QOL
apologize,
stuff.
Jim. Don't
This is
apologize.
2022. This
I
is
think you're looking for
2022.
indications more than hand holding, like an indication
Yeah.
of information.
But they're gonna call it hand holding, and so I'm gonna give them the word now before they make this comment in comments, and it doesn't matter because it should still fucking be there. I'm sorry. That's QOL stuff. That's just
Sorry,
small
Jim.
time.
Don't
It
be
is.
sorry.
It is Xbox 360 style of interfaces that you should have. I'm sorry.
So the debate, especially coming from how I see them attack Horizon a lot and stuff I see.
Any game really. They
No,
come
no,
out
no.
and attack
It's
it.
specific Horizon because it's still getting coverage, even though it got kind of knocked off everyone's radar after a week because of Elden Ring. But some there's still stuff that looks at it. The whole debate is modern open world games are too quest marker everywhere, go everywhere. It's all set up for you and all hand holdy and then your main character will tell you what to do and all that stuff. And there's an aspect of truth to that. That's never bothered me a whole lot. I just want to because I can prioritize actual quests and not collectibles. Like that's fine with me. Although the only time I don't like it is when you get to a point where you're like, oh, I know there's nothing here because there's no marker. When that happens, that's lame. I understand that. But they talk about this like it's a big revolution. It's like you just explore. You don't need to look at anything. You find out on your own. And I get that too. And I'm looking forward to see how that goes for me whenever I get to this game in like a month. But at the same time, I would like, I do enjoy the idea of being able to, I want to do this. That's where it is. Let me go there.
Yeah, I mean, my problem is the game is so brutally difficult to begin with that, like, giving me a quest log, for instance, like Tony said, is what are you doing? Seriously, you're not making it easier.
That sounds reasonable.
You're
to me.
not making it easier that way. The game is still
but no.
just as
Argue
fucking
that they're
difficult.
doing everything they should be doing, considering how well it's selling and how popular it is.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. Quantic Dreams game, Star Wars game is good luck. I'll be 50 by the time that game comes out. I don't know if that's the case, but it's 2027 right now. Well, 5 more years. I mean, that's 45. Jesus.
No, I'm
Why
saying,
would why would a Quantic
I'd go farther out.
why would a
It might.
Quantic Dream game take so long? There's no gameplay in those things.
They're having staffing
Because
issues.
they can't
apparently.
hire people because people don't want to work at a toxic place like that.
Toxic, or also the environment too, the world environment right now. I understand, Tony. We've had that conversation where it doesn't help that there's a toxic environment there, and maybe that's a path of change. I hope to change the way they deal with their practices. But the other aspect of it is there's so many different places now that they're hiring. Like everybody's hiring. There's shortages everywhere, and I guess Mike didn't like that. But so there are staffing shortages worldwide, and that's also hurting this as well. So, and that's going to be like that for a lot of games. The difference is though, 2027 that's fucking far. I mean, that's a hell of a range to push that out to. So
5 full
It's
years.
not close. I mean,
No.
At least they're giving themselves that wiggle room. By the time you remember
Yeah.
it's coming, you can push it back again. So
it'll be on the next gen. So we won't even make this generation. Who knows what we'll all be in 5 more years? So.
yeah. It's not like
Um,
looking forward to it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I know.
Who
I did like their games, and them doing a Star Wars game is kind of cool for me. But then Tony also mentioned shitty companies, so it's like I'm kind of it sucks because I did enjoy their the Iceman game quite a bit.
No, that's
his
not
name.
them. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's not him. I thought that was
That's
them.
Remedy, right?
That's Remedy.
Oh, it's Remedy. Oh, I'm mixing them up.
Quantic Dream is
Because of the
Beyond-
name of Quantum
Beyond Two
Break.
Souls
Yeah, Quantum
and
Break, but I thought it was Quantic Dream that did that.
No,
Wait,
no.
what did Quantic Dream do?
No, they
Detroit
did Heavy Rain,
Become
Beyond Two Souls.
Oh, fuck them. Yeah, that's bullshit.
That's
Oh,
what.
fuck
That's why I say like, there's no gameplay in these games, so I don't know why it would take so long.
Yeah, fuck this guy. Fuck that company. That guy's an asshole. Now I know exactly who this is. And I'm like,
Oh, now I
this
know
game.
who that is.
I mixed it up massively. In my head, I'm like, I kind of want to play their games. And I'm like, now I know who it is. I'm like, fuck them. They don't even care. Why do they even have a Star Wars stand? Take it away from them. It doesn't even matter. The guy's a jerk. That's the best way to say it. Cleaning it up. If you swear, it gives him power. You just call him a jerk.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Tomorrow is the state of play for Sony, focusing on 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes of PS4, PS5 for Japan. A lot of publishers from Japan coming at you 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. So naturally, like normal, we will talk about that next week because we missed it now. So look for that. And that's it for the Gamecast, really.
Yeah, I'm just hoping
I'm
we
gonna be
see
playing-
Final Fantasy 16. We've not heard from that game in a little
Yeah,
while.
that would be cool, and I would like to know what's happening to the next episode of
Or 2.
the Final Fantasy 7. Yeah, I mean that's due. I mean seriously, that's due.
They
So-
definitely need to show that off too. Just be like,
They- You can't take 10 more years to bring out episode 2. You can't do this.
or can
The engine is there. It's there. Come on. But they could do that. All right, that's gonna wrap up this episode.
PSVR stuff. I think.
they? No,
I
they said
bet
no.
you we
They
get
said,
that
they
too.
said no. They said
Fun.
no.
Oh,
Oh no!
really?
Wow.
They specifically said
Cool.
PSVR 2 will not make an appearance.
Okay,
Oh, interesting.
good for them.
Well, it is only
Good on
20
them.
minutes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
glad that was the time.
All right, we'll talk about it next week, guys. We're done for this week. Look for more Elden Ring coming from me. I mean, that's really what I'm going to be playing for God knows how long. And Horizon from Mike, right, Mike?
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to
We'll
hear
see
Tony
it.
finish the game, though, next week. So it'd be cool.
Is there a way to finish that game?
Yeah, Elden Ring has an ending.
Okay.
So that's what I'm working towards. Corey, more Destiny 2 coming your way. Tiny Tina's coming out, though, soon. So
A couple more weeks.
the focus will change, I promise you, folks. No more Destiny from Corey at that point. It'll be all Borderlands all the time for next 150 hours. So that's probably low. I'm probably low on that.
No,
But-
the thing is, Borderlands has not been as good as Destiny's been, unfortunately. Borderlands 2 is the best game. in the
Wow,
series.
we've gotten to that point. Wow.
Randy
No,
Pitchford
that was
just
fair. I
unfriended
mean,
you. I saw
Corey
it. I
dropped
just saw it.
Borderlands 3 pretty quickly.
That's true. That is very
Sad.
true.
Sad.
I mean, just
Uh,
like the gameplay, the gunplay in Destiny is just so much better than in Borderlands.
Wow.
So, yeah.
What a world. 2022. It's been a good year
New
so
world.
far. Yeah. That's going to wrap up this episode of the Gamecast. Thanks for tuning in. Write us allyoucangeek@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter. We're on Twitch, like I said, 8 o'clock Tuesday nights. We start with a movie cast usually, but this time we did the Gamecast. So tune in at 8 o'clock. You never know what we're going to do. We will see you guys then. Until then, sayonara.